What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another episode of the Forgotten Race Review. We've got one more race coming out of the brand new Planar Adventures book, the last hardcover book Pathfinder First Edition's gonna have. Today we're talking about a reprint that I, coming into this, thought got a really rough errata. Actually, it's gotten a whole lot better. Originally appearing in Distant Shores, again, coming at ya from Planar Adventures, we're talking about the Ganzi. Remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and today, this episode of the Forgotten Race Review was brought to you in part by Arcania. My friend, thank you so much for your help. Now, let's dive in. Ganzis are the end result of planar chaos touching living creatures, where the planes brush against the material plane, or where chaotic inhabitants, be they chaos beasts, proteans, valkyries, things of that nature, affect or influence mortal life. Ganzis are born in their wake, like ripples in a pond. This is another race that is coming straight from the world of Paizo, originally coming straight from the Maelstrom. Now they're coming from all over the place. While Ganzis are superficially human in appearance, they often have features that set them apart from the rest of humanity. These features can, as one might imagine, vary widely. One Ganzi might have a discolored hand that flickers with harmless energy, while another might have brightly colored scales, yet another might have horns and glowing green eyes. Likewise, Ganzi height and weight can vary dramatically even by human standards. The average Ganzi stands between 5 and 6 feet tall and weighs anywhere from 100 to 300 pounds. Ganzis are often mistaken for Aasimars or Tieflings at birth, but in truth, Ganzi births very rarely result from mortals mingling with outsiders. The vast majority are born after one or both parents were exposed to a force of chaotic or entropic energy. As such, the circumstances of a Ganzi's childhood can vary dramatically and depend on the parents' tolerance for the unexpected. So think along the lines of a solar angel coming down to the material plane and women getting pregnant just by being around the presence of such a powerful outsider. Same idea. A Ganzi's tendency towards chaos exacerbates this, with many Ganzis developing gregarious, iconoclastic, or thrill-seeking reputations amongst their peers. A minority of Ganzis appear completely human early in life, their heritage manifesting shortly after puberty in a chaotic and traumatic spasm of rapid evolution. While Ganzis are most commonly of human stock, it's not unknown for Ganzis to be born amongst other races like all the other native outsiders we've seen so far. Given their heritage, it's not uncommon for Ganzis with awareness of that heritage and the resources to do so to journey into the Maelstrom. Some Ganzis make this pilgrimage to seek out proteans, valkyries, or other natives in hopes of understanding their own place in the world, while others are drawn to the idea of communing with the vast and potent force of primordial chaos itself. So yep, down to the height and weight here, we said it earlier, anywhere between 5 and 6 feet tall and anywhere from 100 to 300 pounds. Under most circumstances, one would expect the females to come in a little lighter, but these are creatures born of chaos. These are creatures born of chaotic energy permeating the material world, and as such, I think we can fairly say that males and females alike would fluctuate with no real pattern, because is that not the nature of chaos? We'll say these guys come of age around 20, not unlike an Aasimar, and we'll use that 250 plus 6 percentage dice worth of years again to determine maximum age, though I could definitely see that varying to 40 plus d20 like an orc, or even more like a Samsarin. But let's get down to their character sheet. A Ganzi gets a +2 to its constitution and charisma, but suffers a -2 to its intelligence. They're passionate, creative, and resilient, but they have difficulty focusing on intellectual pursuits. Hey guys, I found the Valkyrie-blooded Blood Rager. There he is, right there. Seems good. We're looking at medium native outsiders with a base speed of 30 feet and dark vision out to 60 feet. In addition, Ganzis have Acid Resistance 5, Electricity Resistance 5, and Sonic Resistance 5. No going fast here. And they gain a +2 racial bonus on saving throws against spells of the Polymorph subschool. Also, they get a +2 racial bonus on Sense Motive and Survival. Not bad. Now, as of Distant Shores, Ganzi had an ability called Quibble. When I saw how the bestiary entry in the back of Planar Adventures had added so much more, for the Ganzi, I assumed that Quibble had been replaced because Quibble's quite powerful. I am very pleased to inform the viewers at large that that's not the case. Rather, it's been expanded on. Ganzi have a special ability known as Ganzi Oddity. The Ganzi are again creatures infused with the entropic forces of the Maelstrom, and as such, all Ganzis have a distinct and unusual oddity that manifests as a physical or magical ability that sets the Ganzi apart. Typically, a Ganzi's oddity is chosen from the most common manifestation of entropy listed below, but other, more unique oddities can certainly exist. There you go, GMs, you've got all the room to play with it. Super great. There's numbers listed with the various oddities that can be used to randomly determine what oddity a particular Ganzi might have at the GM's option, but most of the time we're seeing Quibble. However, we've got 5 different variants on this race, where before we just had 1. The first one we see is Chaos Champion, Ganzi with a lineage linked to the LII. Yeah, that's linked to the warriors who are prepping at Valhalla for Ragnarok right there. I've wanted to see more support for the Norse pantheon in Pathfinder, considering we have Valkyries, Einherjar, Sleipnir, even an Ouroboros, and big scary wolves ever since, the early days of Dungeons & Dragons, though we don't necessarily have Fenrir. But here it is, right there. I played a Aasimar Magus not that long ago over at the Inn of Planar Crossroads in a one-shot, and I wanted him to be an Aasimar blooded off an Einherjar. We chose an Archon for somewhat similar flavor, but here it is, right here. I love it. Thank you, Paizo gods, for giving us this blessing. Now, let's talk about it. That Ganzi can smite Law. Once per day as a swift action, targeting a lawful foe. They add their Charisma modifier as a bonus on attack rolls and gain a bonus on damage rolls equal to their hit dice. Once activated, Smite Law persists until the target is dead or the Ganzi rests, whichever comes first. A built-in Smite Law. Yeah, that's so good. And you get a Charisma buff. One assumes you also get the bonus to your armor class versus the target of your smite. One assumes something along the lines of if it's a lawful outsider, lawful dragon, things of that nature, you get more damage as well. That's amazing. Let's see if we can top it. Roll a 3 to 4 on that die, you get Entropic Flesh. Ganzi with lineages that link strongly to chaos beasts retain some of their ancestors' immunity to transformation, in addition to gaining a +2 bonus on escape artist checks and to CMD against grapple combat maneuvers. When such Ganzis are affected by a hostile transmutation effect, such as polymorphing or petrification, they can attempt a new saving throw at the start of their next turn. To end the effect, they gain a +4 on that second save. If they fail, the transmutation effect persists, but that's not the worst thing in the world either. Yeah, no, that's not bad. Baleful Polymorph hurts. Turn that Ganzi into a sheep, like some of my players turned a Kraken into a sheep in an in-person. You guys can follow this card right up here to be directed to that, and also follow this card right up here to be directed to that one-shot, which takes place over like 4 sessions, but we digress. Roll a 5 or 6, your Ganzi gains a Prehensile Tail. This comes from the Proteans, and if they gain this, they often have colorful feathers, scales, or skin, and a long serpentine tail. This tail can be used to carry items. While Ganzis with this oddity can't wield weapons with their tails, they can use their tails to retrieve small stowed objects carried on their person as a swift action. Guys, I found the Alchemist. Yeah, okay, the race gets an intelligence buff, so it's not the best thing in the world, but just don't use bombs or things that target the opponent's DCs. This is the buff Alchemist. This is the melee Alchemist. You buffed your con, so you've got a better little bit of hit points, and you just get that Prehensile Tail, drink that mutagen, off to the races. A 7 to 14 hands us Quibble, which is what the Ganzi had prior to any further support. Also, it's probably really good, and I legitimately thought this might have got eroded out because that's how good it is. Once per day, as an immediate action, a Ganzi can twist probability and alter the luck of a single creature within 20 feet. Okay, that's an errata. It used to be 30, but yeah, fine. Take your 2 squares. Forcing it to re-roll a single d20 roll it has just made. The target must take the second result, even if it's worse, but must use it before the GM declares whether the roll was a success or failure. Unwilling creatures can resist this with a will save equal to 10 plus half your level plus your charisma. This is a curse. This is also really good. That's what's broken in Pathfinder, in my opinion. All the races we've talked about that are super strong and super great, and oh my god, does that have a +2 to all the stats? Oh, that's so great, and that's not as good as literally the ability to influence probability in a game that is based entirely on probability. Don't believe me? roll up a witch or a shaman at some point in your career. Have a party that really likes to roll d20s, fortune all of them, keep all of them within 30 feet of you, and use your move action to cackle or chant. Watch how trivial your combat becomes, to say nothing of the misfortunes and slumber hexes you're going to be throwing at the bad guys as well. It's amazing, and this race has it kind of built in. Anywho, 15 to 18 grants us the spell-like ability, usable once per day at a caster level equal to your hit dice, either Alter Self, Blur, Detect Thoughts, Hideous Laughter, Minor Image, Shatter, or Spider Climb. Utility, if I ever saw it. Last but not least, 19 or 20 grants you weapon play. Ganzis with lineages that link to the Valkyries manifest their heritage in their skill in combat. Such Ganzis are always proficient with all simple and martial weapons, and they can qualify for feats normally available only to fighters, such as weapon specialization, even if they don't have any fighter class levels. Yeah, that's real good. That's amazing. That's about 30% of the strength of the fighter right there, rolled into the class. Also, your Valkyrie flavored. That's so cool. That's, again, pulling straight out of Norse mythology to land here in Pathfinder. The Paizo gods have truly smiled on us this day. Thank you so much. Now, if I were to play one of these things, actually, to tell you the truth, I'd be playing 5 of them, because you can do so much here. And in addition to different mechanical buffs, like, oh, I don't know, smiting an archdevil and hitting him in the face, or being a rogue who gets weapon specialization, or, influencing the luck of the world around you, mechanically that's great. Flavor-wise, that's also super good. You can head over to the land of the Lenorm Kings pretty easily with Ganzi, considering the presence of Einar and Valkyries that I assume would be there. And hey, don't know what that is? Follow this card right up here, and you can check out one of the first videos this channel ever put out about the land of the Elfin in Pathfinder. And if that's not your thing, the rest are still really good. They're still really flavorful. Ironically, Entropic Flesh is really good against Proteans, because Proteans have an ability called Warp Wave that can and will petrify you. So that +4 bonus on the second save after the +2, we assume that stacks. For a +6 to break out of petrification, break out of Baleful Polymorph, anything like that, that's really good in some situations. Again, especially if you're fighting Proteans in your campaign. And if I were to GM for a Ganzi, I'm pretty sure it would be Proteans that get brought in. These guys are creatures of chaos. These guys probably affect the world around them in ways that they might not even notice, in such a way that one imagines an Azamar has butterflies and little songbirds flying around their head, a la Fable, and the Tiefling has flies buzzing around them and that aura of evil. I think it's really cool flavor for the Ganzi to just subtly influence the world around them as they walk past a sign that's red and suddenly that sign is fuchsia. How? Because Ganzi, that's how. Things of that nature. And I definitely enjoy GMing for the real world pantheons, and I love that Paizo brings a lot of them into the fore in Pathfinder. This is a one-way ticket to bringing Norse mythology into your campaign, but I digress. What do you guys think about this race? Are we excited to see a bunch of the new toys? Do we need more Pathfinder 1st Edition games to try them out here at the end of Pathfinder 1st Edition? And most of all, can we get this race in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, right now, in core? Can we just slap the Ganzi in as well? It'd be great. It'd be super awesome. And we'll play it in Fantasy Grounds Ultimate Edition. Hey, follow this card right up here, because we're giving that away. 1 copy is good enough for you and all your players. It's an amazing virtual tabletop. Never have I ever heard anyone say it's bad. From what little I've played around in it, it seems really cool, and I'm giving it away. Of course, remember, patronage at any tier grants you a second entry in the giveaway, and all of our giveaways forever, as well as some Pathfinder 2nd Edition one-shots that are just around the corner. But that's all we've got for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and again, be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. The next episode of the Forgotten Race Review, where we get back on our rapidly expanding list of requests and cover a tiefling heritage. The Oni-blooded tiefling, the Hunger Seed, drops next Monday.